Capeville Tower. Good afternoon. Alitalia 4338 is on approach. Alitalia 4338 clear to land runway 17 right.
Alitalia 9075 cleared for pushback. Capeville ground. Alitalia 9075 ready to taxi. Alitalia 9075 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville clearance. Good afternoon. Speedbird 8557 ready for pushback at Alpha 2. Speedbird 8557 cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower. Good afternoon. Speedbird 7714 is on approach. Speedbird 7714 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Speedbird 8557 taxi to runway 17 left.
Alitalia 9075 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Alitalia 4338 taxi to gate Bravo 5. Capeville Tower. Alitalia 4338 request to cross runway. Alitalia 4338 continue taxi.
Capeville clearance. Good afternoon. Europa 6767 ready for pushback at Bravo 4.
Capeville ground. Alitalia 4338 with you.
Europa 6767 cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower. Speedbird 8557 ready for takeoff runway 17 left. Speedbird 8557 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville ground. Europa 6767 ready to taxi. Europa 6767 taxi to runway 17 left. Capeville Tower. Good afternoon. American 7282 is on approach. American 7282 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville ground. Speedbird 7714 requesting taxi to the gates.
American 2341 cleared for pushback.
Speedbird 7714 taxi to gate Alpha 2. Capeville Tower. Speedbird 7714 request to cross runway. Speedbird 7714 continue taxi.
American 2341 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville ground. Speedbird 7714 with you.
Capeville Tower. Good afternoon. Berlin 1788 is on approach. Berlin 1788 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville clearance. Good afternoon. Alitalia 7287 ready for pushback at Bravo 2.
American 7282 requesting taxi to the gates.
Alitalia 9512 cleared to land runway 17 right.
American 2341 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Alitalia 7287 cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower. American 7282 request to cross runway.
Europa 1710 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville ground. American 7282 with you.
Alitalia 7287 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville clearance. Good afternoon. Speedbird 1327 ready for pushback at Alpha 1. Speedbird 1327 cleared for pushback. Capeville ground. Speedbird 1327 ready to taxi. Speedbird 1327 taxi to runway 17 left.
Berlin 1788 taxi to gate Alpha 1.
Alitalia 7287 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Tower. Good afternoon. Alitalia 4338 is on approach. Alitalia 4338 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Berlin 1788 continue taxi. Alitalia 90512 taxi to gate Bravo 2. Capeville ground Berlin 1788 with you. Alitalia 90512 continue taxi.
Berlin 2925 taxi to runway 17 left.
Speedbird 1327 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville ground Alitalia 90512 with you.
Capeville ground Europa 1710 taxi to gate Alpha 3.
Capeville clearance. Good afternoon. Europa 3057 ready for pushback at Bravo 3.
Berlin 8408 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville ground Europa 1710 with you.
Europa 3057 cleared for pushback.
Capeville clearance. Good afternoon. Berlin 4339er ready for pushback at Alpha 4. Berlin 2925 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville clearance. Good afternoon. Europa 68901 ready for pushback at Alpha 5.
Europa 3057 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville ground Alitalia 4338 taxi to gate Bravo 3.
Berlin 4339er cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower. Good afternoon. Europa 5806 is on approach. Capeville ground Alitalia 4338 with you. Europa 5806 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Europa 68901 cleared for pushback.
Berlin 4339er taxi to runway 17 left.
Europa 3057 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Air Portugal 2362 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Europa 68901 taxi to runway 17 left.
Berlin 8408 taxi to gate Alpha 4. Capeville Tower Berlin 8408 request to cross runway. Berlin 8408 continue taxi. Capeville ground Berlin 8408 with you.
Capeville Tower Europa 68901 ready for takeoff runway 17 left. Europa 68901 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Berlin 4339er cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville ground Europa 5806 taxi to gate Alpha 5.
Speedbird 89er20 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower Europa 5806 request to cross runway. Europa 5806 continue taxi. Capeville ground Europa 5806 with you.
Air Portugal 2362 taxi to gate Bravo 4.
Capeville Tower. Good afternoon. Europa 9068 is on approach. Europa 9068 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Air Portugal 2362 continue taxi.
Speedbird 7715 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville ground Air Portugal 2362 with you.
American 7283 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville ground Speedbird 89er20 requesting taxi to the gates. Speedbird 89er20 taxi to gate Alpha 2.
Capeville Tower Speedbird 7715 ready for takeoff runway 17 left.
Europa 1354 cleared to land runway 17 right.
American 7283 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Speedbird 7715 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Speedbird 8920 continue taxi.
Capeville ground, Europa 9068 requesting taxi to the gates.
Capeville ground Speedbird 8920 with you.
Capeville clearance Alitalia 90513 ready for pushback at Bravo 2. Berlin 1789 cleared for pushback.
Speedbird 8920 hold position.
Capeville ground Berlin 1789 ready to taxi. Berlin 1789 taxi to runway 17 left.
Europa 9068 taxi to gate Alpha 1.
Alitalia 90513 cleared for pushback.
Europa 9068 continue taxi.
Speedbird 8920 continue taxi.
Capeville Tower, good afternoon. Berlin 7966 is on approach. Berlin 7966 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville ground, Europa 9068 with you. Capeville clearance, Europa 1711 ready for pushback at Alpha 3.
Europa 1354, continue taxi. Capeville ground, Europa 1354, with you.
Berlin 1789 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left. Alitalia 90513 taxi to runway 17 left.
Europa 1711 cleared for pushback. Capeville clearance, Alitalia 4339 ready for pushback at Bravo 3.
Alitalia 90513 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left. Air Transat 8060 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Alitalia 4339 cleared for pushback. Europa 1711 taxi to runway 17 left. Alitalia 4339 taxi to runway 17 left.
Speedbird 9324 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville ground, Berlin 7966 taxi to gate Alpha 3.
Capeville clearance Berlin 8449 ready for pushback at Alpha 4.
Capeville Tower, Berlin 7966 request to cross runway.
Europa 1711 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
American 4224 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Berlin 8449 taxi to runway 17 left.
Berlin 7966 continue taxi. Capeville ground, Berlin 7966 with you.
Alitalia 4339 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left. Capeville clearance, Europa 5807 ready for pushback at Alpha 5.
Speedbird 3658 clear to land runway 17 right.
Berlin 7966 hold position.
Air Transat 8060 continue taxi.
Europa 5807 cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower, good afternoon. Europa 4232 is on approach. Europa 4232 clear to land runway 17 right.
Capeville ground Air Transat 8060 with you.
Capeville Tower Berlin 8449
Ladies and
ready for
gentlemen,
takeoff
please pay
runway
attention as we
17
display the
left.
safety features and procedures of the air.
Clearance Air Portugal 2363 ready for pushback at Bravo 4.
Berlin 7966 continue taxi.
Europa 5807 taxi to runway 17 left.
Speedbird 9324 taxi to gate Alpha 4. Capeville Tower, Speedbird 9324 request to cross runway. Air Portugal 99932 cleared to land runway 17 right. Speedbird 9324 continue taxi. American 4224 requesting taxi to the gates. Capeville ground, Speedbird 9324 with you. American 4224 taxi to gate Bravo 3. Capeville Tower, American 4224 request to cross runway. American 4224 continue taxi. Capeville ground, American 4224 with you.
Capeville Ground Speedbird 3658 requesting taxi to the gates. Speedbird 3658 taxi to gate Alpha 5.
Capeville clearance, Speedbird 89er21 ready for pushback at Alpha 2.
Capeville Tower Speedbird 3658 request to cross runway.
Europa 4232 requesting taxi to the gates.
Speedbird 3658 continue taxi.
Capeville clearance, Europa 1355 ready for pushback at Bravo 1.
Capeville Ground Speedbird 3658 with you.
Capeville Tower, good afternoon. Alitalia 4568 is on approach. Alitalia 4568 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Europa 4232 taxi to gate Bravo 5.
Taxi to the gates.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the
Taxi to
destination.
the gates.
Capeville Tower Europa 4232 request to cross runway.
Speedbird 89er21 cleared for pushback.
Berlin 8449 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville clearance, Europa 9069 ready for pushback at Alpha 1.
Berlin 90166 clear to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower, Europa 5807 ready for takeoff runway 17 left.
Europa 4232 continue taxi.
Air Portugal 2363 cleared for pushback.
Europa 1355 cleared for pushback.
Capeville Ground Europa 4232 with you.
Speedbird 89er21 taxi to runway 17 left.
Europa 9069 cleared for pushback.
Europa 4232 taxi to gate Alpha 2.
Capeville Ground Air Portugal 2363 ready to taxi.
Air Portugal 99932 taxi to gate Bravo 5. Capeville Ground Europa 1355 ready to taxi.
Air Portugal 2363 taxi to runway 17 left.
Europa 1355 taxi to runway 17 left.
Europa 5807 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Speedbird 3952 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Europa 4232 hold position. Europa 4232 continue taxi.
Air Portugal 99932 continue taxi.
Europa 9069 taxi to runway 17 left.
Speedbird 89er21 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground Air Portugal 99932 with you. Capeville Tower Alitalia 4568 request to cross runway. Alitalia 4568 continue taxi. Capeville Tower Europa 1355 ready for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground Berlin 90166 taxi to gate Alpha 1.
Europa 1355 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left. Capeville Ground Alitalia 4568 with you.
Europa 9069 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville clearance Air Transat 8061 ready for pushback at Bravo 2.
Capeville Tower Air Portugal 2363 ready for takeoff runway 17 left. Air Portugal 2363 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Air Transat 8061 cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower Berlin 90166 request to cross runway.
Capeville Ground Air Transat 8061 ready to taxi.
Berlin 4386 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Berlin 90166 continue taxi.
Air Transat 8061 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground Berlin 90166 with you.
Capeville Ground Speedbird 3952 requesting taxi to the gates.
Europa 2772 clear to land runway 17 right.
Capeville clearance, Berlin 7967, ready for pushback at Alpha 3.
Capitol clearance, American 4225, ready for pushback at Bravo 3. Speedbird 3952, taxi to gate Bravo 2. American 4225, cleared for pushback.
Air France 5908, cleared to land runway 17 right.
Air Transat 8061 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Berlin 7967, cleared for pushback.
American 4225, taxi to runway 17 left. Speedbird 9325, cleared for pushback. Capitol Tower, Speedbird 3952, request to cross runway.
Capeville ground, Berlin 7967, ready to taxi.
Speedbird 3952, continue taxi.
Berlin 5660, clear to land runway 17 right.
Berlin 7967, taxi to runway 17 left.
Capitol ground, Speedbird 3952, with you.
Berlin 4386, taxi to gate Bravo 3.
Speedbird 9325, taxi to runway 17 left. Speedbird 3952, taxi to gate Alpha 3.
Speedbird 3659er, cleared for pushback.
Capeville ground, Europa 2772, taxi to gate Alpha 4.
Capeville Tower, Berlin 4386, request to cross runway.
American 4225, cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville ground, Speedbird 3659er, ready to taxi.
Capeville Tower, Europa 2772, request to cross runway.
Berlin 4386, continue taxi.
Europa 2772, continue taxi.
Capitol Tower, Speedbird 9325, ready for takeoff runway 17 left. Speedbird 9325, cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Berlin 7967, cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville ground, Europa 2772, with you.
Capeville ground, Berlin 4386, with you.
Capitol Tower, Air France 5908, request to cross runway. Air France 5908, continue taxi.
Capeville Tower, Speedbird 3659er, ready for takeoff runway 17 left. Speedbird 3659er, cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Europa 6842, cleared to land runway 17 right. Capitol ground, Air France 5908, with you.
Europa 4233, taxi to runway 17 left.
Berlin 5660, continue taxi. Capeville ground, Berlin 5660, with you.
Air Portugal 99933, cleared for pushback.
Berlin 2686, clear to land runway 17 right.
Capitol clearance, Alitalia 4569, ready for pushback at Bravo 1. Alitalia 4569, cleared for pushback. Capitol ground, Air Portugal 99933, ready to taxi. Air Portugal 99933, taxi to runway 17 left.
Europa 4233, cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Alitalia 4569, taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville Tower, good afternoon. Europa 3818 is on approach. Europa 3818, cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capitol ground, Europa 6842, taxi to gate Alpha 2.
Berlin 9167, cleared for pushback. Capitol ground, Berlin 9167, ready to taxi. Berlin 9167, taxi to runway 17 left.
Alitalia 4569, cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capitol Tower, good afternoon. Air France 2980 is on approach. Air France 2980, cleared to land runway 17 right.
Air Portugal 99933, cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capitol ground, Berlin 2686, taxi to gate Alpha 1.
Capitol Tower, Europa 6842, request to cross runway.
Capitol Tower, Berlin 2686, request to cross runway. Berlin 2686, continue taxi.
Europa 6842, continue taxi.
Capeville Ground, Berlin 2686 with you.
Capeville Ground, Europa 6842 with you.
Berlin 90167 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Europa 3818, taxi to the gates. Europa 3818, taxi to gate Bravo 1. Capeville Tower, Europa 3818, request to cross runway. Europa 3818, continue taxi.
Speedbird 4214 clear to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Ground, Europa 3818 with you.
Capeville clearance, Speedbird 3953, ready for pushback at Alpha 3.
Capeville Ground, Air France 2980, taxi to gate Bravo 4. Capeville Tower, Air France 2980, request to cross runway. Air France 2980, continue taxi.
Berlin 8558 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Europa 2773 cleared for pushback.
Capeville Ground, Air France 2980 with you.
Speedbird 3953, cleared for pushback.
Capeville clearance, Berlin 4387, ready for pushback at Bravo 3.
Capeville clearance, Air France 5909, ready for pushback at Bravo 2.
Speedbird 3953, taxi to runway 17 left.
Europa 2773 taxi to runway 17 left.
Berlin 4387, cleared for pushback.
Air France 5909, cleared for pushback.
Capeville Ground, Speedbird 4214 taxi to gate Alpha 3.
Capeville Ground, Berlin 4387, ready to taxi.
Speedbird 4214 continue taxi.
Berlin 4387, taxi to runway 17 left.
Europa 2773 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Speedbird 3953, cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Tower, good afternoon. Europa 8846 is on approach. Europa 8846 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Ground, Speedbird 4214 with you. Speedbird 4214 hold position. Speedbird 4214 continue taxi.
Berlin 8558 continue taxi.
Capeville Tower, good afternoon. Air France 6798 is on approach.
Air France 5909, cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Berlin 8558 with you.
Berlin 4387, cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Air France 6798, clear to land runway 17 right. Berlin 5661, cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Delta 2354 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower, good afternoon. Speedbird 3072 is on approach. Speedbird 3072 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Ground, Europa 8846 taxi to gate Alpha 5.
Capeville Tower, good afternoon. Berlin 90138 is on approach. Berlin 90138 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Air France 6798 requesting taxi to the gates. Air France 6798 taxi to gate Bravo 2.
Capeville clearance, Berlin 2687 ready for pushback at Alpha 1. Berlin 2687.
Capeville clearance, Europa 3. 3819 ready for pushback at Bravo 1. Europa 3819 cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower, Europa 8846, request to cross runway. Europa 8846, continue taxi. Delta 2354, requesting taxi to the gates.
Capeville Ground, Berlin 2687, ready to taxi.
Capeville Ground, Europa 8846, with you.
Air France 67908 continue taxi.
Delta 2354, taxi to gate Bravo 3.
Capeville Ground, Air France 67908 with you.
Europa 3819 continue taxi.
Berlin 2687, taxi to runway 17 left. Capeville Tower, good evening. Europa 7064 is on approach.
Delta 2354, continue taxi.
Europa 7064 clear to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Ground, Delta 2354, with you.
Europa 6843, taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Speedbird 3072, taxi to gate Alpha 1. Capeville Tower, good evening. Alitalia 6978 is on approach. Alitalia 6978 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Berlin 2687 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Berlin 90138 taxi to gate Alpha 2.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Air Portugal 90402 is on approach. Air Portugal 90402 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville clearance, Air France 2981, ready for pushback at Bravo 4.
Capeville Tower, Speedbird 3072, request to cross runway. Speedbird 3072, continue taxi.
Capeville Tower, Europa 3819 ready for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Speedbird 3072, with you.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Speedbird 1204 is on approach. Speedbird 1204, cleared to land runway 17 right.
Berlin 90138 continue taxi.
Europa 3819 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Berlin 90138 with you.
Europa 6843 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left. Air France 2981, taxi to runway 17 left.
Speedbird 4215, taxi to runway 17 left. Europa 7064, taxi to gate Alpha 3.
Alitalia 6978, taxi to the gates. Alitalia 6978, taxi to gate Bravo 1.
Capeville Ground, Air Portugal 90402 taxi to the gates. Air Portugal 90402 taxi to gate Bravo 4.
Air France 2981 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Speedbird 4215 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Europa 5566 is on approach. Europa 5566 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower, Europa 7064, request to cross runway.
Capeville clearance, Berlin 8559, ready for pushback at Alpha 4. Capeville Ground, Speedbird 1204, requesting taxi to the gates.
Europa 7064, continue taxi.
Berlin 8559, cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower, Alitalia 6978, request to cross runway.
Capeville Ground, Europa 7064, with you.
Capeville Ground, Alitalia 6978, with you.
Air Portugal 90402 continue taxi.
Berlin 8559, taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Air Portugal 90402 with you.
Capeville Tower, Speedbird 1204, request to cross runway. Speedbird 1204, continue taxi. Capeville Ground, Speedbird 1204, with you. Capeville Tower, Berlin 8559, ready for takeoff runway 17 left. Berlin 8559, cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Air Transat 2090 is on approach. Air Transat 2090 cleared to land runway 17 right. Capeville Ground, Europa 5566, requesting taxi to the gates. Capeville Tower, good evening. Berlin 2136 is on approach. Berlin 2136 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Air France 679er cleared for pushback.
Europa 8847 cleared for pushback. Capeville clearance Delta 2355 ready for pushback at Bravo 3.
Capeville Ground, Air France 679er ready to taxi.
Europa 8847 taxi to runway 17 left.
Air France 679er taxi to runway 17 left.
Delta 2355 cleared for pushback.
Europa 5566, taxi to gate Alpha 5.
Capeville Ground Delta 2355 ready to taxi. Delta 2355 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Air Transat 2090, taxi to gate Bravo 2.
Capeville Tower Europa 8847 ready for takeoff runway 17 left. Europa 8847 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Tower Europa 5566, request to cross runway.
Air France 679er cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Berlin 2136, requesting taxi to the gates.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Air Portugal 3776 is on approach. Air Portugal 3776 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Europa 5566, continue taxi. Capeville Ground, Europa 5566, with you. Air Transat 2090, continue taxi.
Capeville Tower Delta 2355 ready for takeoff runway 17 left. Delta 2355 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Air Transat 2090, with you.
Berlin 90139er taxi to runway 17 left.
Speedbird 3073 cleared for pushback.
Berlin 2136, taxi to gate Alpha 2.
Capeville Ground, Speedbird 3073 ready to taxi. Speedbird 3073 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville Tower, Berlin 2136, request to cross runway. Berlin 2136, continue taxi. Europa 5566, continue taxi.
Berlin 90139er cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Speedbird 6862 cleared to land runway 17 right. Capeville Ground, Berlin 2136, with you.
Air Portugal 3776 taxi to gate Bravo 3.
Air Portugal 9403 cleared for pushback.
Alitalia 69er cleared for pushback.
Europa 3680 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower, Speedbird 3073 ready for takeoff runway 17 left.
Air Portugal 9403 taxi to runway 17 left.
Speedbird 1205 cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Air Transat 6318 is on approach.
Speedbird 3073 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Air Portugal 3776 with you.
Berlin 2136, hold position. Berlin 2136, continue taxi.
Air Transat 6318 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Alitalia 69er taxi to runway 17 left.
Speedbird 1205 taxi to runway 17 left.
Air Portugal 5560 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville clearance Europa 7065 ready for pushback at Alpha 2.
Capeville Tower, Alitalia 69er ready for takeoff runway 17 left. Alitalia 69er cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Speedbird 6862 taxi to gate Alpha 1. Air Portugal 9403 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Berlin 8722 is on approach.
Speedbird 1205 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left. Berlin 8722 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Europa 7065 taxi to runway 17 left.
Europa 3680 taxi to gate Alpha 4.
Capeville Tower, Speedbird 6862, request to cross runway. Speedbird 6862, continue taxi.
Speedbird 1700 clear to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Ground, Speedbird 6862, with you.
Europa 3680 continue taxi.
Air Transat 6318 taxi to gate Bravo 1.
Capeville Ground, Europa 3680 with you.
Capeville Ground, Air Portugal 5560 taxi to the gates. Air Transat 6318 continue taxi.
Europa 7065 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Air Transat 6318 with you. Air Portugal 5560 taxi to gate Bravo 4.
Capeville Tower, good evening. American 6968 is on approach. American 6968 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Air Portugal 5560 continue taxi. Capeville Ground, Air Portugal 5560 with you.
Capeville clearance, Air Transat 20901 ready for pushback at Bravo 2.
Berlin 8722 taxi to gate Alpha 3.
Speedbird 1700 requesting taxi to the gates. Speedbird 1700 taxi to gate Bravo 5.
Air Transat 20901 cleared for pushback. Capeville clearance, Europa 5567 ready for pushback at Alpha 5. Europa 5567 cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower, Berlin 8722 request to cross runway.
Air Transat 20901 taxi to runway 17 left. Capeville Ground, Europa 5567 ready to taxi. Europa 5567 taxi to runway 17 left.
Berlin 8722 continue taxi.
Capeville Ground, American 6968 taxi to gate Bravo 2.
Capeville Ground, Berlin 8722 with you.
Speedbird 1700 continue taxi.
Berlin 8722 taxi to gate Alpha 3.
Capeville Ground, Speedbird 1700 with you. Speedbird 1700 taxi to gate Alpha 5.
Capeville Tower, Air Transat 20901 ready for takeoff runway 17 left. Air Transat 20901 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left. Europa 5567 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left. Berlin 2137 cleared for pushback.
Berlin 6410 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower, American 6968 request to cross runway.
Berlin 8722 hold position.
American 6968 continue taxi.
Air Portugal 3777 cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Speedbird 4724 is on approach. Speedbird 4724 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Ground, American 6968 with you.
Berlin 8722 continue taxi.
Berlin 2137 taxi to runway 17 left.
Air Portugal 3777 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Berlin 4870 is on approach. Berlin 2137 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left. Berlin 4870 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Ground, Berlin 6410 requesting taxi to the gates.
Air Portugal 3777 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Berlin 6410 taxi to gate Alpha 2.
Speedbird 4724 requesting taxi to the gates.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Europa 8406 is on approach. Europa 8406 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Air Transat 6319er cleared for pushback.
Speedbird 4724 taxi to gate Bravo 3.
Capeville Ground, Berlin 4870 taxi to the gates.
Capeville clearance, Air Portugal 5561 ready for pushback at Bravo 4.
Berlin 4870 taxi to gate Bravo 5.
Capeville Tower, Berlin 6410 request to cross runway.
Capeville Tower, Speedbird 4724 request to cross runway.
Air Transat 6319er taxi to runway 17 left. Capeville Tower, good evening. Berlin 1984 is on approach.
Speedbird 6863 taxi to runway 17 left.
Berlin 1984 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Speedbird 4724 continue taxi.
Air Transat 6319er cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Berlin 6410 continue taxi. Capeville Ground, Berlin 6410 with you.
Capeville Ground, Speedbird 4724 with you.
Air Portugal 5561 taxi to runway 17 left.
Berlin 4870 continue taxi.
Europa 3681 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Berlin 4870 with you. Europa 8406 taxi to gate Bravo 1.
Capeville Tower, Europa 3681 ready for takeoff runway 17 left.
Europa 7326 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower, Europa 8406 request to cross runway. Europa 8406 continue taxi. Capeville Ground, Europa 8406 with you. Capeville Tower, good evening. Delta 6714 is on approach. Delta 6714 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Ground, Berlin 1984 taxi to gate Alpha 1.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Europa 2754 is on approach. Europa 2754 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville clearance, Berlin 8723, ready for pushback at Alpha 3.
Capeville clearance, Speedbird 1701 ready for pushback at Alpha 5.
Capeville clearance, American 6969 ready for pushback at Bravo 2.
Capeville Tower, Berlin 1984 request to cross runway.
Capeville Ground, Europa 7326 requesting taxi to the gates. Europa 7326 taxi to gate Alpha 4.
Capeville Ground, Delta 6714 taxi to the gates. Delta 6714 taxi to the gates.
Capeville Ground, Europa 2754 requesting taxi to the gates.
American 6969 cleared for pushback.
Berlin 8723, cleared for pushback.
Europa 3681 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Berlin 7752 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Speedbird 6863 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Air Portugal 5561 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Speedbird 1701 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville Tower. Good evening. Speedbird 2536 is on approach. Speedbird 2536 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Berlin 1984 continue taxi.
Berlin 8723 taxi to runway 17 left.
American 6969 taxi to runway 17 left.
Europa 7326 continue taxi. Capeville ground Europa 7326 with you.
Delta 6714 continue taxi. Capeville ground Delta 6714 with you.
Europa 2754 continue taxi.
Capeville ground Berlin 1984 with you.
Capeville ground Europa 2754 with you.
Speedbird 4725 cleared for pushback.
Speedbird 1701 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Tower, Berlin 8723 ready for takeoff runway 17 left. Berlin 8723 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Berlin 7752 taxi to gate Bravo 2.
American 6969 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Speedbird 4725 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville clearance Berlin 4871 ready for pushback at Bravo 5.
Capeville Tower. Good evening. Iberia 6524 is on approach.
Berlin 4871 cleared for pushback.
Iberia 6524 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower, Berlin 7752 request to cross runway.
Speedbird 2536 taxi to gate Alpha 5.
Berlin 7752 continue taxi.
Air Portugal 6218 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Speedbird 4725 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville ground, Berlin 7752 with you.
Berlin 4871 taxi to runway 17 left.
Berlin 6411 cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower. Speedbird 2536 request to cross runway. Speedbird 2536 continue taxi. Berlin 2912 cleared to land runway 17 right. Capeville ground Speedbird 2536 with you.
Europa 8407 cleared for pushback.
Berlin 6411 taxi to runway 17 left.
Europa 8407 taxi to runway 17 right.
Iberia 6524 taxi to the gates. Iberia 6524 taxi to gate Bravo 1.
Berlin 4871 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left. Capeville ground Air Portugal 6218 taxi to the gates. Air Portugal 6218 taxi to gate Bravo 3.
Berlin 6411 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left. Capeville Tower. Iberia 6524 request to cross runway. Iberia 6524 continue taxi.
Capeville Tower. Air Portugal 6218 request to cross runway. Air Portugal 6218 continue taxi.
Capeville ground. Iberia 6524 with you.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Berlin 5224 is on approach. Berlin 5224 cleared to land runway 17 left.
Berlin 2912 taxi to gate Bravo 5.
Capeville ground Air Portugal 6218 with you. Capeville Tower, Europa 8407, ready for takeoff runway 17, right.
Capeville Tower, Berlin 29er12, request to cross runway. Berlin 29er12, continue taxi.
Europa 8407, cleared for takeoff runway 17, right.
Capeville ground, Berlin 29er12, with you.
Capeville clearance, Europa 7327, ready for pushback at Alpha 4. Europa 7327, cleared for pushback.
Capeville clearance, Delta 6715, ready for pushback at Bravo 4. Delta 6715, cleared for pushback.
Capeville ground, Berlin 5224, requesting taxi to the gates.
Berlin 1985, cleared for pushback.
Europa 7327, taxi to runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Speedbird 8468 is on approach. Speedbird 8468 cleared to land runway 17 left.
Delta 6715, taxi to runway 17, right.
Berlin 5224, taxi to gate Alpha 2.
Berlin 1985, taxi to runway 17 right.
Europa 2755, cleared for pushback. Capeville ground, Europa 2755, ready to taxi. Europa 2755, taxi to runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Europa 5474 is on approach. Europa 5474, cleared to land runway 17 right. Capeville clearance, Berlin 7753, ready for pushback at Bravo 2. Berlin 1985, hold position. Berlin 7753, cleared for pushback. Berlin 1985, continue taxi.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Europa 7754 is on approach. Europa 7754 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville ground, Berlin 7753, ready to taxi. Berlin 7753, taxi to runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Speedbird 5842 is on approach. Speedbird 5842, cleared to land runway 17 right.
Speedbird 8468 taxi to gate Alpha 1.
Speedbird 2537, cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower, Europa 7327, ready for takeoff runway 17 right.
Speedbird 2537, taxi to runway 17 right.
Capeville ground, Europa 5474, taxi to gate Alpha 3.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Europa 4620 is on approach. Europa 4620, cleared to land runway 17 right.
Iberia 6525 cleared for pushback. Europa 7754 taxi to gate Alpha 4.
Capeville Tower, Europa 5474, request to cross runway.
Capeville Tower, good evening. Berlin 1938 is on approach. Berlin 1938 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville ground, Europa 5474 with you.
Iberia 6525 taxi to runway 17 right. Europa 7754 continue taxi.
Capeville Tower. Good morning. Europa 90514 is on approach. Europa 90514 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville ground Europa 7754 with you.
Air Portugal 6219 taxi to runway 17 right. Speedbird 5842 taxi to gate Alpha 5.
Capeville Tower. Good morning. KLM 1638 is on approach. KLM 1638 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Berlin 29er 13 taxi to runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower. Speedbird 5842 request to cross runway.
Europa 4620 taxi to gate Bravo 1.
Capeville Tower. Good morning. Spinnaker 8620 is on approach. Spinnaker 8620 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Speedbird 5842 continue taxi.
Capeville ground Berlin 1938 requesting taxi to the gates.
Capeville Tower. Europa 4620 request to cross runway. Europa 4620 continue taxi.
Capeville ground Speedbird 5842 with you.
Berlin 1938 taxi to gate Bravo 2.
Capeville ground Europa 4620 with you.
Europa 90514 taxi to the gates. Europa 90514 taxi to gate Bravo 3.
Berlin 5225 cleared for pushback. Capeville ground KLM 1638 taxi to the gates. KLM 1638 requesting taxi to the gates.
Berlin 1938 continue taxi.
Blue Sky 6271 cleared for pushback.
KLM 1638 taxi to gate Bravo 4.
Capeville ground Berlin 1938 with you.
Berlin 5225 taxi to runway 17 right.
Europa 90514 continue taxi. Capeville ground Europa 90514 with you.
Capeville ground Blue Sky 6271 ready to taxi.
Europa 7327 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Berlin 2338 cleared to land runway 17 right.
KLM 1638 continue taxi. Capeville ground KLM 1638 with you.
Capeville ground Spinnaker 8620 taxi to gate Bravo 5.
Capeville Tower Berlin 1985 ready for takeoff runway 17 right.
Blue Sky 6271 taxi to runway 17 right.
Spinnaker 8620 continue taxi.
Capeville Tower Berlin 5225 request to cross runway.
Capeville ground Spinnaker 8620 with you.
Capeville Tower. Good morning. Blue Sky 7370 is on approach. Blue Sky 7370 cleared to land runway 17 left.
Capeville clearance Speedbird 8469 ready for pushback at Alpha 1. Speedbird 8469 cleared for pushback. Capeville ground Speedbird 8469 ready to taxi. Speedbird 8469 taxi to runway 17 right. Capeville ground Berlin 2338 requesting taxi to the gates. Berlin 2338 taxi to gate Alpha 1.
Berlin 5225 continue taxi.
Berlin 1985 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Blue Sky 6271 continue taxi.
Capeville ground Berlin 5225 with you.
Berlin 2338 continue taxi. Capeville ground Blue Sky 6271 with you.
Delta 6715 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Capeville Ground Berlin 2338 with you. Capeville Ground Speedbird 8469 with you.
Capeville Tower, good morning. Speedbird 8046 is on approach. Speedbird 8046, clear to land runway 17 left.
Speedbird 2537 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Berlin 7753 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower, good morning. Blue Sky 3232 is on approach. Blue Sky 3232 cleared to land runway 17 left.
Air Portugal 6219 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Iberia 6525 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Berlin 2913 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower, good morning. Europa 7144 is on approach. Europa 7144 cleared to land runway 17 left.
Blue Sky 6271 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Berlin 5225 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Europa 2755 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower, good morning. Berlin 2266 is on approach. Capeville Tower, Blue Sky 3449er request to cross runway. Berlin 2266 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Blue Sky 7370 taxi to gate Charlie 1.
Capeville Tower, good morning. KLM 2838 is on approach.
Europa 5475 taxi to runway 17 right.
Europa 7755 taxi to runway 17 right. Capeville Tower, Speedbird 8469 ready for takeoff runway 17 right. KLM 2838 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Speedbird 5843 taxi to runway 17 right.
Europa 4621 taxi to runway 17 right.
Air Canada 2474 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Speedbird 8046 taxi to gate Alpha 2.
Berlin 1939 cleared for pushback.
Blue Sky 3449er continue taxi.
Capeville Ground, Europa 9515 ready to taxi.
KLM 1639er taxi to runway 17 right.
Alitalia 4788 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville Ground, Blue Sky 3449er with you. Blue Sky 3232 requesting taxi to the gates.
Capeville Ground, Europa 7144 taxi to the gates. Berlin 1939 taxi to runway 17 right.
Europa 9515 taxi to runway 17 right.
Blue Sky 3232 taxi to gate Charlie 2. Capeville clearance, Spinnaker 8621 ready for pushback at Bravo 5.
Europa 7144 requesting taxi to the gates.
Capeville Ground, Berlin 2266 requesting taxi to the gates.
Europa 7144 taxi to gate Alpha 3.
Speedbird 7338 clear to land runway 17 left.
Berlin 2266 taxi to gate Alpha 4.
KLM 2838 taxi to the gates.
Capeville Tower, Berlin 2266 request to cross runway.
Capeville Tower, good morning. American 4334 is on approach. American 4334 clear to land runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Air Canada 2474 taxi to the gates.
Berlin 2266 continue taxi.
KLM 2838 taxi to gate Bravo 1.
Air Canada 2474 taxi to gate Bravo 2.
Capeville Tower, KLM 2838 request to cross runway.
Capeville Ground, Berlin 2266 with you.
KLM 2838, continue taxi.
Spinnaker 8621 cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower, Air Canada 2474, request to cross runway.
Capeville Tower, good morning. Lufthansa 1964 is on approach.
Capeville Ground, KLM 2838 with you. Speedbird 8469 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Lufthansa 1964 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Alitalia 4788 taxi to gate Bravo 3.
Capeville Ground, Spinnaker 8621 ready to taxi. Capeville Tower, Blue Sky 3449 ready for takeoff runway 17 right. Spinnaker 8621 taxi to runway 17 right.
Air Canada 2474, continue taxi. Capeville Ground, Air Canada 2474 with you.
Speedbird 7338 taxi to gate Alpha 5.
Capeville clearance, Blue Sky 7371 ready for pushback at Charlie 1.
Capeville Tower, Alitalia 4788, request to cross runway.
Blue Sky 7371 cleared for pushback.
Capeville Ground, American 4334 taxi to the gates.
Alitalia 4788, continue taxi.
Capeville Ground, Blue Sky 7371 ready to taxi.
Captain
Berlin
and crew, welcome aboard
2339
this
cleared
flight.
for
We
pushback.
hope you enjoy flying with us. Before takeoff, we would like to encourage all passengers to watch our cabin crew display the safety features of the aircraft.
Capeville Ground, Alitalia 4788 with you.
Blue Sky 7371 taxi to runway 17 left. Capeville Ground, Lufthansa 1964 taxi to the gates. Lufthansa 1964 requesting taxi to the gates.
American 4334 requesting taxi to the gates.
Berlin 2339 taxi to runway 17 left.
Blue Sky 9770 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Blue Sky 3449 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Speedbird 7338 hold position.
Lufthansa 1964 taxi to gate Bravo 4.
Speedbird 7338 continue taxi.
Capeville Tower, Speedbird 5843, ready for takeoff runway 17 right.
American 4334 taxi to gate Bravo 5.
Capeville Tower, good morning. Europa 7674 is on approach.
Lufthansa 1964 continue taxi.
Europa 7674 cleared to land runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Lufthansa 1964 with you.
Capeville Tower, Berlin 2339 ready for takeoff runway 17 left.
Capeville Ground, Blue Sky 9770 taxi to the gates. Blue Sky 9770 requesting taxi to the gates. Blue Sky 9770 taxi to gate Charlie 1.
Speedbird 5843 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Capeville Tower Blue Sky 9770 request to cross runway.
Europa 7755 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Blue Sky 9770 continue taxi. Capeville ground Blue Sky 9770 with you.
Europa 4621 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Europa 5475 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Berlin 1939 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Blue Sky 7371 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Europa 90515 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
KLM 1639 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Berlin 2339 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.
Spinnaker 8621 cleared for takeoff runway 17 right.
Europa 7674 taxi to gate Alpha 1.
Capeville clearance KLM 2839 ready for pushback at Bravo 1.
Capeville Tower, good morning. Air Portugal 6932 is on approach. Air Portugal 6932 clear to land runway 17 right.
Capeville clearance Blue Sky 3233 ready for pushback at Charlie 2.
Capeville clearance Speedbird 8047 ready for pushback at Alpha 2.
Capeville clearance Europa 7145 ready for pushback at Alpha 3.
Capeville clearance Berlin 2267 ready for pushback at Alpha 4.
Capeville Tower, good morning. Europa 2520 is on approach. Europa 2520 cleared to land runway 17 right. KLM 2839 taxi to runway 17 right.
Speedbird 8047 cleared for pushback.
Capeville clearance Air Canada 2475 ready for pushback at Bravo 2.
Blue Sky 4558 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Europa 7145 taxi to runway 17 right.
Capeville ground Berlin 2267 ready to taxi.
Capeville ground Air Canada 2475 ready to taxi.
Capeville Tower, good morning. Berlin 3478 is on approach. Berlin 3478 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Speedbird 8047 taxi to runway 17 right.
Berlin 2267 taxi to runway 17 right.
Air Canada 2475 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville Tower, good morning. Speedbird 7374 is on approach. Air Portugal 6932 taxi to gate Bravo 1. Speedbird 7374 clear to land runway 17 right. Speedbird 7339 cleared for pushback.
Blue Sky 3233 cleared for pushback. Capeville ground Blue Sky 3233 ready to taxi.
Air Portugal 6932 continue taxi.
Europa 7145 continue taxi.
Speedbird 7339 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville ground Europa 7145 with you.
Speedbird 8047 continue taxi. Capeville ground Air Portugal 6932 with you. Capeville ground Speedbird 8047 with you.
Europa 6542 cleared to land runway 17 right.
Capeville ground American 4335 ready to taxi.
Capeville Tower, good morning. Europa 9682 is on approach. Europa 9682 cleared to land runway 17 left.
Blue Sky 3233 taxi to runway 17 left.
Capeville ground Europa 2520 requesting taxi to the gates.
Lufthansa 1965 taxi to runway 17 left. Lufthansa 1965 continue taxi.
Capeville Tower KLM 2839 ready for takeoff runway 17 right. Capeville Tower, good morning. Speedbird 2598 is on approach. Speedbird 2598 cleared to land runway 17 left.
Blue Sky 4558 taxi to gate Charlie 2.
Capeville Tower Air Canada 2475 ready for takeoff runway 17 left.
Alitalia 4789 taxi to runway 17 right.
American 4335 taxi to runway 17 right. Speedbird 7374 taxi to the gates.
Europa 2520 taxi to gate Alpha 3.
Capeville Tower, Blue Sky 4558, request to cross runway.
Capeville Ground Berlin 3478 taxi to gate Alpha 4.
Europa 6542, taxi to gate Bravo 2.
Capeville clearance, Blue Sky 90771, ready for pushback at Charlie 1. Blue Sky 90771, cleared for pushback.
Capeville Tower Speedbird 7374 request to cross runway.
Air Canada 2475 cleared for takeoff runway 17 left.